then where's your PowerPoint?
It's in my email.
Okay.
Send it to you.
Send it to the KW Legacy.
Nice.
If anyone's on Zoom, you'll hear them on the TV. All right, do you want to present this or do you want to, do you want to go to your board?
Well, both. I'm going
Board
to start with the
down here.
board and then I'm going to go with the. So
Okay.
this I'm going to have.
Yeah, there you go.
But I want to
If you want to get out of this, you just hit.
escape and go back.
Yeah. Invite you to- Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thaddeus, what'd you end up with? Good morning. What'd you end up with? Yeah.
Just go ahead and put me down.
Why are you doubting five?
Because some of them were, like some of them were, I was calling like.
No, no problem. We haven't started yet. Yep.
About 4 years ago. And I just called him up and said, he says he wants to sell something. I was like, hey, I know you don't know who, I said,
I was going to give people a few minutes.
What was the date before?
Well, while we get this started, how's everybody doing? Did I break you two up? Are you children? No. All right.
Done.
That's right.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Good stories. I want to hear some good stories. Share with the group anything inspiring. I don't want to hear bad stories. So I just only want to hear success stories.
Couple days.
Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful. God, what else?
Got offered sometimes people that have been working.
What else?
I submitted the wrong offer, but got accepted.
Offer. Tell me how you submitted the wrong offer. Wrong house, same street. I mean, he sold the other house. Was the price the same? Similar house, similar price? I'm not, but man, hard for me if I was a buyer to like just be okay with that. But
Yeah, he's my client player, you know.
all right. So real quick, there's 12 tactics that we want to go over through a. It happened, it was too quick. It was past them. So it came in sudden and it comes in quick. What does a seller's market mean? What does a buyer? Okay, so many people need to understand that because you guys. Client asks you is the first question. What's going on? Going on. So there are 12 tactics that agents, tough agents. Meaning in a buyer's market, there'll be agents who will get out of the business. Why do they get out of the business? Yeah, sorry, but why are they not able to survive? Why do they give up? What happens in a buyer's market for the agent to get all that? They can't make money, we get all that. What is it that exactly happens when an agent in a buyer's market? They are not able to
Sell the house.
Okay. What buyer's market?
There'll be more competition.
He's asking.
Why?
Yes.
Good. Define for me what is
Low inventory.
low inventory. So if a seller's market is low inventory, what is a buyer's market? What else is what else is in a now? Look your mind. Tell me. These properties and they just can't find a way persuasive enough to create the urgency for a buyer so they get it out. But seller's market today, why would an agent be out of business today? They're working with the buyers, strictly buyers, not looking for opportunities. They're surviving though. Why would an agent not survive a seller's market? Seller's market? No.
Get them the leads.
Seller's market. House is not going to sit on the market. We already agreed.
Oh, right, that's right. They're
Seller-
not lead generators.
But
Listings.
listings, because we have a low inventory. Market, as if they're going to fall from where? Those agents that don't do the right activity, right? Will find it very hard in a seller's. Very little to actually list. So you got to be. So today's market, some of them apply to today's market, some of them apply to what's gonna come. Market, it's not gonna stay like this forever. Why the shift is coming for sure. Okay? So 12 tactics, we're gonna go over them real what they are. So if you want to take notes and write them down, feel free. Today's class, because we want to keep it first tactic, get real, get right, mindset. So that's the first tactic. We gotta get real and get right about where we at. We gotta get a good grasp of where am I? Kamal wants to go to Canton and he's in Dearborn. Or Kamal wants to go to Canton. Is it fair for someone to say go west?
You have to sell your.
I want to go to Chicago. Okay, what else?
Are you driving or flying?
Where are you? I'm going to give them directions. What am I going to say? Where are you? Why? Because I want to be able to tell them, go this way, go that way. Same thing in this market today. You need so that we can know where we're going to. So knowing where you're at, getting real with what the market is the first. Second tactic, remargin your. Whether you're making money now, you need to have good expense management for the future. And if you're not enough right now, it's okay. You need to know how to So that when times change, so in a shift, the first stage of a shift is survival when it comes to expenses. These 3, 4, 5 months. Doesn't Thanksgiving, Christmas, a little bit in terms of like people don't want wanting to buy or whatever. Let's say there is. If we don't have good expense management, for 3 or 4 or 5 years, expenses is huge. Third one, doing more with less and less. Is it possible that we can do everything ourselves? This one, I'm not good at. I can focus on the thriving tasks, the surviving tasks that I need to do to stay in a shift. The name of the game is survival. Okay? Find the motivated. Near impossible. Near impossible. We're just talking with HBAS earlier. This buyer, chances of getting into this market with the highest and best and multiple. And not only the motivated, I would say, also find the ready, willing, and doesn't mean we don't communicate with everybody. Several conversations. So you got to work with your motivated. Yes? But when I choose to work with sellers, I need to capitalize on the amount of leads, seller leads. Do it right or lose it or let it go. 25 sellers, I'll say, you know what? Don't convert or don't get to the table or don't happen or don't sell. The lead conversion. Catch people in your web. Internet lead conversion is another huge tactic during a shift, and it has to do with social media and grabbing market. Especially right now with social media and internet marketing. As market shifts and as market gets better, as market of their presence. Pricing ahead of the market. So far has shown that it's a little bit different than last year, and it was much different than the summer before, right? But when you're pricing and when you're talking with your sellers, it's very important to price ahead of the market. Standing out from the competition, seller staging strategies. Sellers right now, one picture, you might even not put a picture, you're still selling it. where sellers need to pay special attention. Khalid has one for sale, Kamal will have one for sale, and Hassan will have one. Hassan is how the seller stages it, or how the seller presents it, or how we help the seller present it. All that important. You agree? Everything is selling, or at least that's what the notion is. Creating urgency, the skill of creating urgency, and the how influential you are, right? Buyer reluctance. Is there a little bit of buyer reluctance right now? Skills that need to be acquired, and we will go over those as the series continues. Expanding the options and creative. Last year, but it's good we can go through it again. They can go to the bank. Everybody. Back in the day, when rates start jumping up and hiking up, naturally, they can't qualify. They're going to get. Is to understand how creative financing works. Separate his property from. He can offer some sort of seller financing. So, down payment. Come out. I'll do an assumption of your. We'll talk about those different ones. This will help in a market. Market sellers basically are selling everything. In a market like the one we've had. $25, $30, $60, $70,000. I would mind sell for $100. Alternate financing. Master market at the moment. Foreclosures are back. Short sales. How those work and how we can line ourselves in that. Went out of business or left the market crashed. Working with sellers, normal sellers and buyers, and then when the bank-owned business took place, they had no idea how to. Is it going to happen? We'll talk about mastering market. Solve problems, yep.
Logic.
Right. So bulletproofing the transaction, meaning somebody under contract or that all the way to the closing table. Are there going to be issues in between? How we communicate with our buyer and seller goes a long way. Fears the unknown. When doubt sets in. They're relying on you to know what's coming next, and you don't explore. You're breaking up that bond. Get it? That trust bond. So bulletproofing the transaction. Excitement, right? Offers, 13, 14 off. Offering free landscaping for the rest of the year. Accepted. Family members. Some people buyer concessions to the seller, way. So when they went to sleep and woke up the next, buyer's remorse. So buyer's remorse is real. Decided they'll took the offer. 2 days later, they may call you and say, you know what? I want to get some measurements.
What do you do in this situation?
You know, that would be something that so okay, so these are your 12 tactics that we're going to be going over. Today, we're going to talk about tactic number 1, which is gaining mind over the market. So we want to know, like we said, we want to know about where we're at to capture that market. So the main ideas in this chapter book is going to be perspective on the market, the opportunity mindset that you need to create, that there is a market all the time, mastering the skills needed for a shift that's either happening or that's coming, following the key systems or the key habits, I would say, in place, and then get in the game and play the game. Okay. One is new, like it already. I can't do anything.
Oh, it's you.
It's new. Clicking through every slide. Okay. Buyer's market or somewhere in between. So regardless, people always need to buy or sell. And why do we say people need to buy or sell regardless of what the market is? Because the buying and selling is conditioned on life events, right? Selling a property is usually the result of a life event. Can you give me some examples of life events that would lead to either buying or selling?
Downsizing work.
Downsizing,
Work,
divorce,
job,
new job.
Going home to be positive.
So those who, people always need to buy or sell. Markets shift all the time. They have a cyclical nature. The change in the market should be viewed as an opportunity for us to do business. It should not be less business or more business. Oh, tough times. Tough times will always come and go, right? Tough people hang out and stay within those tough times. The activity that they do during those tough times. So the law of supply and demand. I want to go over simple, basic one, but you're going to be needing to use this in your conversation. Potential buyers and sellers. So very simple. Demand exceeds supply, which is what we're in right now. Yes? Yeah. We have more demand than there is supply. So going up. When supply exceeds the demand, what's going to happen? Prices are going to go down. So it's a law of equilibrium, right? Now, how do we determine what kind of market we're in and whether we are in a seller's market or a buyer's market? Seller's market. That means you have less than 5 months of inventory on the market. The amount or the number, meaning if no homes get listed, if it takes us 5 months to sell, taking us less than 5 months to finish all the inventory. I have shoes on the shelf, and buyer's market, a thriving buyer. Over 7 months. So if let's say with the numbers that we have, it takes a year to sell everything, buyer's market. Okay? A balanced market is somewhere in between, 5 to 7 months. So in a 6 months inventory, we have, it takes us 6 months to be done with the inventory. Any questions on a buyer's market, seller's market? Some math. Okay? We're going to talk about something called the affordability index. Okay. What do they talk about a lot of times? The CPI, right? Consumer Price Index. They also talk about what can a buyer afford? How much can a buyer afford of a house based on their income? So, of your client or of your buyer, we have to first look at in a neighborhood or in a zip code or whatever area that you're trying to focus on. So let's say, for example, we are looking at Dearborn. let's just say. And let's say the median income in Dearborn, studies show, let's say, 70,000. Follow me? Sales price in Dearborn is 182,500. 70,000. Mortgage amount, assuming they put 20% down, they're going to be left with a loan amount of 146,000. 25% of that mortgage, so 25% of 146,000 is 36,500. You take the income of 69,300 and you divide it by 36,500. That gives us an affordability index of 190. Meaning people were barely making it. Now, as prices go up, what that affordability index to stay with it?
Median income.
Median income. 100 affordability index, that means the person who makes the average by the rising prices, people can afford it and they're buying. Going on. What has to keep up with that price? Income. And the income, unfortunately, has not been keeping in the prices. So what's going on with the okay? So yeah, not necessarily crash, but your affordability index go down. And when your affordability index goes down, average home. That makes sense? If their income stays with the appreciation, went up 20%, but your income went up 20%. Went up 20%, and my income stayed where it's at. You're going, I can't afford the average home, and then I gotta go find something else. This is a nationwide issue. Affordability index was 160. People could not afford to buy homes in Atlanta. People with average priced home in Atlanta just boomed. Same thing with like Dallas, Texas, some of those areas. So the upcoming areas, you'll find that the affordability index initially takes a hit, and then new people start coming that are making.
Yeah. So another obvious.
I don't know, I think it's important. So it's
It will increase. Milk, bread, housing is at the end of the day, it's a commodity. As shelter, right? Even rent, if you don't want to buy and you want to, or the prices or the charges, the equivalent or more than that increase in pay. How much of a raise does he need to get to still afford the average median home? And if income does not keep up, then there's an issue. Part of the reason also those prices increases, there was a lot of money that was given out in the economy, right? There was a lot of money injected into the economy. People were getting a lot of checks. Stuff, right? That was injected in there. So there is what we call the funny money that's going to dry up at one point. So now hasn't improved. You just injected more of a stimulus into it, right? You just like gave it a little bit of a boost. So, but it's a good exercise. Yeah.
Right, so everybody pay that much money left over. However, I guess the only company. That's what it was gonna take a lot of time for them to increase.
If somebody's looking to buy a house or put gas in their car and put food on their table, what are they doing? They're going to say, let me delay the home buying. I just can't afford that payment right now. Follow what I mean?
Yeah.
So income has to move along with it. And I'm telling you, in the US, if you're going on, income is not keeping up that increased price of goods.
Wouldn't it just be better to, rather than just increasing inflation?
Well, in the meantime, you want people, otherwise you're gonna have turmoil and you have rioting, and you have buildings and gas stations. It's gonna happen.
Right.
It's gonna create so much social impact. While you're trying to say, I'm gonna lower the inflation by doing interest rate hikes, don't take effect 30 days. Their homes,
Right.
people can't afford food on the table, they're out, people can't afford. Oh, now you're creating more of a social. But this is a good exercise. This is a good exercise for you to do. Just to see, even when you're ready to buy your own home. Wait a minute, how does my affordability look? Way more affordable than that would be the way to go. All right. Now, any questions on the affordability index?
Just 1 second.
Yeah. Now, 3 ways to close the gap on the affordability index. Lower home prices, obviously, right? Increased borrowing power, lower rates. Or you increase the income.
first two.
None. Can we control? No. Can we increase lower rates, higher rates, give the, no? Can we all of a sudden give the borrower an increased income? No, we have no control.
Can help with those.
Control is the question.
Oh.
We cannot control any of those now, right? We can't control them. So what impacts? There's three different things, three different layers. Starting with the local, because real estate is done on the local level. What I really care for is how's my subdivision doing, right? So how's my neighborhood dynamics? This is the first thing in the micro level. Whether they can afford or not afford. Like, for example, the initiative that Target is taking, let's say they say, what that's going to help do is to that particular city because they can population, employment, household income, so on and so forth. Inflation, economic growth. And those are like long-term, take a little bit of time to be impacted. Those are lines at the open house, so on and so forth. Before nationwide growth and nationwide I want you guys at one point, doesn't have to be now, but at one point, what's the median income in that area? What's the median home price? Good to know the stuff so that you can know, hey, are we area of low affordability going to indicate to me that that price is going to probably take a little bit when the market shifts. You agree? Less people that can afford, and you start seeing homes sitting on the market. Exactly the average home. Or spikes. So do this exercise when you can. You'll appreciate it. Now, be very careful with your conversations with your buyers, especially right now, because the media is out there with all kinds of news. Right? Are glued. Just like we're in the business of selling real estate. Eyeballs to the TV and to the story. They're going to always be projecting. Or price is going to be soaring. That comfort of explaining that is presented is so make sure the sources of media that you're somewhat reliable when it comes to economic conditions. By the misinformation or misrepresentation. Now, exactly what you're hearing now, but heard it or you're hearing some of it, because remember, again, a shift. So at one point, believe it or not, your seller may tell you, I can't sell for, right? Why are we having this conversation? Five, I have to sell for 90. Same thing with buyers. Buyers have certain beliefs that they're going to be talking to you about. Plenty of time to look and buy. And I wait for more homes to come on. Saying that. So over a period of time.
What would you say?
Several things. So first things I would say is I would want to know want to assess the need for that home. So they want to wait because they don't want to. Meaning that home that you're looking at for you're not going to be able to pay 250 when rates go up. You're going to need to pay 200. Appreciates. You're not able to time it. Started the budget in the fours, 400s. 449. He wouldn't pull the trigger. Same exact house got listed next door to. This is for 589. 589. So went up by 100. House alone, the equity that went up in his it will do those adjustments. But if you're buying for the long run for your opportunity mindset, real quick. We're gonna be wrapping up pretty soon. I just want to talk about a few things before we. The 6 truths about the market. 1, market. Like the seller's market, market's always in transition. Buyers and sellers, people buy and sell in all down markets tend to have fewer great deals and those that are, you know. Okay. Now, markets like the one in now, up markets, reactive lead generation, you're doing okay. That stuff works. Go blind and put money in anything. Right now, the market that we're in an up market, so easy for someone to say, you know, things come by default. Things come. Okay. Questions on proactive and reactive. Bye. For the are going to be a balanced market, and then buy my property and pay me a ton. Follow? I'm not saying that it's gonna be somewhere in between. All right. When market shifts downward, time to reach equilibrium is unknown. Wait it out. It will be over soon. That's a myth. Lasts a little bit, but it also can't tell you how many people I know they bought the fancy boats, the cars, the clothing, the this, the that. A downshift, it's time for all hands on deck, prospecting. How you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. Those all play a factor in a downshift. The goal is always to be listing based. The buyers are leveraged. Starting point is a home for sale. Does that make sense? Your role as an opportunity warrior delegate tasks you do less well. Closings. Shift it and be the best at what you do. Sell real estate. What's my role and what do I do well? A purposeful amount of time on what I do well. What do you do well? Are you good in front of people? Do it. All right. These are your affirmations. Take a picture of this because you talk to yourself. By the way, don't ever listen to yourself. Because you're always talking to yourself positively. Always listening negative. Almost always.
Well, can we put that one down?
Oh, I'm an opportunist, and this is an consultant. I understand the clients through the process. Seller need me more, and buyers need me more than ever. Any market, you're always needed. Prospecting and lead generation. Share as times. So your market has less and less of a sales volume going down. You started off when you controlled 20% of the market by the lead generation activity that you do. Okay? Same transaction sizes, same unit. Your market didn't. So look, at that same level, now you went up from 20% to controlling 35% of the market. Lead generation, you talked to actually double the amount of people that you were talking to, and you didn't only get share became 50% in a down market. Look at an up market. When the market was shifting,
25.
no, where did you end up?
Oh.
With a 50. So now watch the market going back up into an increasing market. Automatically are going to maintain that 50. Take a picture of this as well. A lot of people think that listening and by heart, I know exactly, that's not the beginnings back and forth. I'm actually acting, I'm validating their concerns. He generates 3 hours a day. He generates, start somewhere. Then up it up to 20 minutes a day. Like running the treadmill, you're not going to run command day one. Stamina, right? So on and so forth, you continue, and then at 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles is off part of your DNA.
Well, for the lead hours a day, does that mean it's strictly like for prospecting or no?
No, no, so that includes. That includes your lead, like for a half hour. That's a face to face with somebody out visiting out there. That's a lead generation. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm picking up the phone. Hey, from the get-go. You can start somewhere and build it. Make sure I want to focus on this one. I want to talk about the why people should do business with you.
Knowledge.
Not enough. So there's a lot of smart ass real estate agents that know it all, but they're not likable. And they're holistic, right? So it's got to be a combination. So make sure you're some. Always want to be a student of the game. The prior one. You want to be keeping up on your education and be a student of the market. I also want to be building relationships with my people, right? Continue to build that trust. So, but more importantly, whatever information that information that you're providing them has to come back with. This is with me because I understand the market. Help you, and it's somebody I could do. And here's what that other agents don't do. Else does, or no one else does a lot. Okay, so your unique value proposition is very important. Online, there's some on KW Connect.
For right now.
Yeah, KW Connect has all kinds of. Yeah.
I mean, it's like skeleton. Like, I mean, you add stuff to it. You can create your own script, right? Your own.
If I could, then I wouldn't need to look it up.
Go to shops. Who shops like aside from a mall has like a boutique, small place that they shop in? Doesn't have to be closed, but can be owned or right. What do you notice about the person who works there or who owns the place or whatever? When you ask them, they're involved. Very good point. What? Very good. Huh? Enthusiastic, involved. Describe logical. Let's say I'm going.
So, let's say watch store. I mean, they know their products, details, where it's made, all the stuff.
Store that I go to. Not, he's not random. He owns a shoe store. Tell me, yes, I do. No, I don't have it in brown. I have it. Why?
He knows his stuff.
He studies his inventory. He knows what's on. How many homes were active in Element?
$17.
You need to know this because I have 4 or 5 buyers in Element. Yeah, so I know we have, I know we do.
Zero.
Very little. A lot of times your sellers will call you. It's a skill that you need to develop. Great communicator. It's not just seek first to understand, ask, listen, study, practice scripts. Leverage the script knowledge through. Then it is what you say. People don't what you're telling them, they want to hear in your voice. She actually listens and hears what I'm. Oh yeah, then next. Involvement. If I go to the shoe store and the guy walks in and say, "Man, I'm here to buy."
You have to be like them, really. Like even if you're prospecting, how they answer, you have to answer.
You have to be with your clients. Communicate with your clients faithfully, relieving their stress and yours. Very important, because you don't want to add to them. The remessaging is what I was telling you about. Evaluate your message that you're putting out for sellers and for buyers. What am our conversations? Pricing with seller, we talk about it in the seller class. About their key systems. We talk about the 80-20 all the time, focusing on your 20%. Gotta be doing your prospecting. Skills involved in it. You have to add to your. Right, and we continue to learn them. Enough time to actually sharpen more of your skills. And my favorite time of the year is when focus on yourself. When it's not busy. They had time on their hands. I think anyone that became a realtor was super busy and thought about becoming a realtor. Impossible. Yes. So same thing. Continue that education. Right. And don't quit. Very easy to say to for a period of time, and then we're going to adjust. Lay your foundation for growth and improvement. Plan, stick to it. Know your focus on dollar productive activities. This is huge. I can't tell you how many. Right, there's another movement. Dollar producing is getting in relationships with people. Coffee, lunch, walking around the office, hanging out, doing all. I have to set in my calendar. Then you're gonna find that success will be your. Fine. Okay. With this, I want you to. On here it says. 1, I have no experience. 2, I'm not very good. 3, I'm pretty good. 4, I'm confident. 5, I'm an expert. So I understand the concept and causes of market shifts. If you're not, or you're not sure how, or you still need work. Learn, okay? Understand that I gain market share. Questions, and takeaways. We want to see some takeaways.
So basically, what do we do with the,
What'd you say?
after we're done with filling out this?
On Zoom, somebody saying something?
No, it's me.
No, that was phone. I heard
Oh,
something.
okay. What are you saying?
So after,
Just check with me if like there's area. All right, guys, any takeaways? We gotta get with 5 takeaways before we leave. 3 takeaways. Yes.
Well, I've heard it before, but it stuck with me, like, I'm thinking about it more today. How you said be the student of the game, study how many houses can it
Yeah.
has been part.
It projects, yeah, because it projects confidence to whoever you're working. I better do real estate, right?
Be knowledgeable.
Be knowledgeable. What else?
So there's a word. I'm really interested. So
Collaboration and camaraderie. All right, guys. So we'll, our next market at the moment, we're gonna, it'll be nice too. So we'll